Welcome to SYFY WIRE's Blerd History Month. Yep, that's a thing.
We totally made that up.
We talk about our favorite genre characters every day, but for Blerd History Month, we're sharing some of our favorites with you.
Spoiler alert, they're all black.
First, let's talk a little bit about Afrofuturism, which brings forth the concepts of African cultures across the diaspora in a speculative future.
Yeah, and it's expressed across so many mediums. Now, you might think of Black Panther, but we're going to dig a little bit deeper into the genre and share some of our favorites.
Starting with Octavia Butler. If Janelle Monáe were the princess of Afrofuturism, then Octavia Butler is the queen mother.
Absolutely. Octavia Butler is most well known for her world building and touching on key themes like politics, race, gender, identity, slavery, and even climate change.
And while she's won numerous awards, including a Locus, a Nebula, and a Hugo Award in 1985, one of my personal favorite of Octavia Butler's works is 1993's Parable of the Sower.
Yeah, mine too. I mean, the book explores a black female lead, Lauren Olamina, in a dystopian society ravaged by climate change and growing wealth inequality. Wait, that kind of sounds familiar.
I mean, it is set in the 2020s.
Okay, but Octavia Butler's writing answered for the first time what happens to people of color in the future.
It gave many an opportunity to imagine not just black people, but fully actualized people of color, different ethnicities in different roles, and impacted dozens of creatives.
And speaking of creatives, Ava DuVernay is actually adapting Dawn for TV.
Which is pretty cool because Dawn is a black woman who works with aliens to resurrect the human race 250 years post-nuclear war.
And if it wasn't for Octavia, we wouldn't have amazing writers like Nnedi Okorafor, Nalo Hopkinson, and N.K. Jemisin.
She won a Hugo, right?
She won 3. Not only was she the first African American to win the Hugo Award for Best Novel in 2016 for the 5th season, she went on to win that award 2 more times for the next 2 books in the same trilogy.
Man, and that acceptance speech was lit.
Yeah, fire. It was amazing.
This is the year in which I get to smile at all of those naysayers and lift a massive, shining, rocket-shaped finger in their direction.
Now, the world building in the series is amazing. There's this planet called the Stillness that has these insane weather patterns that last for generations.
Even cooler, the people who are most suited to live this life are called the orogenies. They have the ability to control energy from the ground, creating earthquakes by manipulating that energy.
Now, then there are these used casts that act like factions where people are divided into groups like engineers, doctors, laborers.
So a little bit of Avatar, The Last Airbender, and a little bit Divergent. Yo, speaking of Divergent, total dream cast. I would love to see Zoe Kravitz as Cyanide in the movie.
I actually think Letitia Wright could pull that off.
And Lisa Bonet as Assume.
And the Guardian could be Denai Guerrero.
But you know what? We won't have to wait much longer because TNT is turning the 5th season into a series.
Speaking of, now we've covered novels that are moving to the screen.
Now let's get into what we've already seen.
She just had to rhyme. Like Brown Girl Begins. Directed by Sharon Lewis, the movie takes place in future Toronto where a girl struggles between her Afro-Caribbean destiny and her Canadian reality.
Yeah, and it's really cool because it's based on Nalo Hopkinson's award-winning novel, Brown Girl in the Ring. And the movie blends sci-fi with horror, with magical realism, and you know what? I love it.
I agree. It may be a small indie film, but I think that's the great part about it. Lewis was able to make it the way she wanted. Did you know she spent 18 years on this film?
It is legit like her baby.
That she put through college. Now, did you know that Brown Girl in the Ring is also a West Indian children's game?
Karma, why have we never played this game?
Because we're not children?
You know what? Speak for yourself. I may be a lawyer, but I play video games. I collect phone co-pops. I am here for all of the games.
Games aside, Brown Girl Begins couldn't have happened without films like The Brother from Another Planet and the Kenyan short film Pumzi.
Movies like these met audiences at the crossroads of sci-fi and blackness.
But last year, Afrofuturism blew up in the mainstream when Black Panther entered theaters and dominated the culture for, well, it still is.
Wakanda forever.
One of the coolest things about Black Panther is that it worked to bring together multiple African traditions, tribes, and languages.
In fact, Hannah Beachler had a 200-page Bible that tells the entire history of Wakanda.
And Ruth Carter, the costume designer, worked with traditional artisans to create textiles for the film. Remember the border tribes' blankets? They're Basotho blankets from South Africa.
It's really cool because I love the fact that they blended that with vibranium in order to create those really dope shields.
I mean, the Kimoyo beads is a fashion accessory and a communication device. Step aside, AirPods.
I mean, I still need mine to listen to the Black Panther soundtrack, though.
That's true, because it's banging.
But we also want to hear from you.
Have you read any great Afrofuturism lately? Are you excited for Ava DuVernay to take on Dawn?
Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell so you don't miss anything from SYFY WIRE.